Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm saying it like that because you may hear this at different times of the day. So I'm greeting you according to the time you may hear it. Amen. Amen. To God be the glory. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Amen. Amen. But I want to come on briefly. As you all know, this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. This is the month of October. I come and I encourage and empower people in reference to domestic violence and life as a whole, as a woman, and just as a person overall. I don't talk about domestic violence just for the month of October because it happens every day. It happens 365 days a year. So I just don't gear it towards just 31 days in 1 month. However, I do my best to take it up a notch and talk about it a little more during that month because that is the month for awareness for it. And during this time that we're in right now, this pandemic time we're in, oh my God, there's so many women that has lost their life to domestic violence. And that's because in this pandemic, we've been on lockdown. And by being on this lockdown, it has caused the abuser to be at home more with the person that they abuse, and they getting frustrated. And so any little thing is ticking them off, and they just latching out at that person, whether they verbally abusing, emotional abusing, physically abusing, spiritual abuse. Abuse is abuse, and that's one of the things that myself as an advocate try to get through to people, because I have conversation with women and they feel as though that because he's not hitting them that it's okay, that that they're not in a domestic violence relationship. But they don't get that if he's controlling you, he's controlling your finances, he's controlling your spiritual walk. If he's verbally abusing you, calling you name, degrading you, making you feel less of a woman, that is still abuse. Just because he hit you, that's not the only abuse there is. So we need to really push and have these conversations of understanding that abuse is more than just being physically hit. Abuse is also, again, as I just mentioned, mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, being controlled, and so much more. But I come this day just to say, no, you are worthy of all he has for you. I want to encourage you to stop self-sabotaging what he sent to you, but you keep denying it because you feel as though you're not worthy of that new day, that new blessing, that new opportunity, that new that he has for you. You feel as though that you're not worthy of it, but I come to tell you, you are worthy. You're more than worthy. So I need you to stop saying that you're not worthy of anything that God has created you for. He gave you a vision and has instructed you to write it down. So I come to encourage you to write that vision down of healing from domestic violence. Write that that vision down of your exit from that domestic violence relationship. Then walk it out. Walk it out. Walk it out. There are 20 people being abused every minute, whether verbal, mental, physical, financial. 20 people. Can you imagine? 20 people a minute, 10 million people a year. We have to change this. And it starts with not just speaking up now because you've survived, but also to encourage parents to set an example to their children as they're growing up. The boys need to see and know how to treat a woman. Yes. And the girls need to know how to be treated by a man. Come on now. However, they both need to know the value of self. Whether boy, girl, he or she needs to know the value of themselves. To know how to love self, how to dream for self, how to be all that they desire for self. And by having that, they will grow up to be that man or that woman that will not allow a negative from another person to take them into a place that they desire not to be in. Always encourage your children to make sure that their life is full of peace, joy, happiness, and love. And let them know that under no circumstances that no one should be able to put them in a place of bondage, of them feeling less than. They need to always know that they have a right to wake up in peace, go to bed in peace. And if we start while they're young, then just maybe they won't endure a violent relationship when they grow up and become a young man or young woman. Let's start it from the ground. Let's build a foundation before we even have the children. My children are grown and I have grandchildren now. But I began to set the foundation with my grandchildren because, of course, my children was in my situation. I thank God for the lessons that I've learned in my domestic violence marriage, because it's helping me to walk out life after abuse. I've had many women to come to me and say they didn't know that they can have life after abuse, or they didn't know that they can have life after divorce. You can have life after any type of tragedy. You just have to be willing to put the work in and get the healing that you need so that you can have the life that you desire, the life that God had ordained for you. Don't discount who you are. Know that you was created by the Most High, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are anointed and appointed. Walk out the assignment that God has given you. Every morning he gives you an assignment when you wake up. Walk that assignment out. Every morning when he wake you up, he give you another chance to make that wrong that was done on yesterday or right on today. Don't discount who you are. Know who you are and whose you are, so that you can live out life full of peace, joy, happiness, and love. And I leave you with this. Stop walking with your head held down. Walk with your head held high, with a smile on your face, and knowing that you're walking with God. Knowing that you're walking and living the life that he created for you. And you don't allow nothing or no one to deter you from the destiny and the purpose-driven life that he's giving you. Remember, as I always say, live, laugh, and love with no regrets. Why? Tomorrow is not promised. So go ahead on and embrace it right now and do it the way you know that you feel comfortable with doing it, the way he has instructed you to do. God bless you. Much love.